Reg, good morning. How are you?
I'm great. Happy holidays to you, Theodore, and to my Danette. Before you get to my questions,
Okay.
I have a few comments and questions for you and the panel as well.
Wow.
Number one, Mojo. I am surprised he is not in the UCLA Hall of Fame. Don't worry, my friend. I've already put a call in. So you and I will help.
I like that.
Mojo.
I like
okay.
that. All right.
But I am surprised that he is not in the Ring of Honor for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Obviously, Fred Taylor, who you mentioned, but who else is in the Ring of Honor for the Jacksonville Jaguars where Maurice Jones-Drew would not be there?
I don't know if there's a time frame of being out of the game before you go into the Ring of Honor, but I got some of my best people working on that right now.
Has Jacksonville Jaguars ever been, again, I'm showing a little bit of naive, have they ever been to the playoffs?
Yes, they have. They beat Denver in Denver one year, right, Fritzy?
They did.
Yeah.
Where Maurice Jones-Drew was a part of that, correct?
No. I think that was
that was the Fred Taylor years?
Tony Baselli, Jimmy Smith.
Brunell.
Who else is in
Mark
the Ring
Brunell.
of Honor? That's what I'm asking.
I don't think there are too many people there.
That's what I'm saying. What is there, like two guys, Fred Taylor and who else?
Tony Baselli.
Who else is a prominent Jaguar?
Keenan McCardell.
Keenan McCardell.
He was big with Jimmy Smith. That
Yeah,
was
him
quite
and
a
Jimmy
duo.
Smith. That's true.
Okay.
I'll get Mojo in there.
Mojo. That's not right. So can we work on that?
I will.
And number two,
Okay.
NCAA. Now, is that the NCAA's decision not to bring this kid to New York, or was it the Heisman Academy's?
The Heisman.
Couldn't the NCAA have stepped in and been like, guys?
The Heisman's separate entity.
How can the ball be dropped on something like that?
I'm going to get it changed, Reg. And it's not just this year with Keenan Reynolds, but it should be every year that you have five
Oh, you should have had like 7, 8 guys up there. Bring the guy from Oklahoma.
Baker Mayfield.
Ezekiel from Ohio State. I mean, you could have had like 7 or 8 guys. Are they worried about plane tickets or something? Like hotel rooms in New York? Like, what's the deal here? Seriously.
I'm not sure.
How can you not have this kid from Navy? Obviously, he's representing Navy, but he's representing our country. How beautiful would that have been for him to be?
I agree. All right, are you stalling just because I'm going to say Kobe's top 5 players he went against and you're not on that top 5?
Why would I be stalling? I like the list. 3 are Hall of Famers. 2 are first ballot Hall of Famers in LeBron and KD. But here's my questions, because I have questions for you and probably for Kobe if he's listening.
Okay.
Is he saying guys that he went against, or maybe his teams went against? Because other than MJ and Clyde, who probably would have guarded Kobe 3/4 of the game, KD, LeBron certainly is not guarding Kobe until maybe, crunch time in the fourth quarter, and certainly not Hakeem Olajuwon, unless he's saying it was difficult when he went in the paint to finish over Hakeem.
I thought you would be on the list, Reg. I'm honest. I'm being honest here.
No. I'm surprised 2 other guys are not on his list, like AI, because he would have had to guard AI, and AI would have had to have guarded him, which would have been a joke, and T-Mac. Those 2 guys, I thought, should have been on his list because they somewhat grew up in that Kobe-era generation.
But he
so
says
I was a little
the
surprised
toughest.
those 2 guys weren't on the list.
But he was asked to name his toughest 5. I don't know what toughest 5 means.
Right. So I don't know if he's talking about teams or personally he had to go against. I understand MJ and Clyde because they would have guarded him and he would have had to have guarded them. But he's not guarding Hakeem, and he's not guarding LeBron until the 4th, and he's not guarding KD until the 4th. But again, we all have lists. Like Kobe wouldn't have been on my list.
Okay, your 5 toughest guys that you went against.
But see, again, this is all personal. Obviously, MJ should be on everyone's list. MJ would be 1.
Yeah.
Joe Dumars for me.
Okay.
Michael Cooper, and the reason why I say Michael Cooper is because he baptized me when I was young. My 4 years at UCLA, when we had those pickup games, and the Lakers were at their height. That's he showed me like you're never going to score on me. So that just stuck in my head. So Michael Cooper, Alvin Robertson, and Drazen Petrovic, the late great Drazen. Those are 5 guys. That I had to
went
guard,
against. Yeah.
that I had to guard, and they had to guard me. I'm not like saying nothing's wrong with Kobe's list, but he's not guarding Hakeem. But now if you're going into the paint trying to score, certainly. But that's what I'm saying. Is he saying teams or is he saying personally?
I'm not sure the definition of this, by the way. Here's the other thing. A couple of questions for you.
Sure.
You can be James Harden or Klay Thompson right now.
Player-wise or off the court money and shoe contract and all that? I mean, what are you talking about?
I'm going to give you everything. I'll say everything.
I will roll with Klay because he has the jewelry. He's playing with the best player currently on the planet right now in Steph, and it's good to be a part of that Warriors organization. But having said all that, a $200 million deal from Adidas and the cooking it up and the beard and all that, that's not bad.
And you get Khloe Kardashian.
Oh, I knew you were going to go there. Why did you have to go there?
Wait, is that good or bad? Does that tip the scales in one way or another?
I'm not going to have the wrath of the Kardashians coming after me. They're lovely women. Okay, don't even try that.
Okay, but how tough is it to be second fiddle to Steph Curry, where James Harden left Oklahoma City because he didn't want to be third fiddle there or second fiddle there? Now he goes to Houston.
Yeah,
how tough is that?
I don't think if you're Klay Thompson, that's what you're thinking about. You're thinking about winning championships where he already has one underneath his belt. So, I mean, yeah, could Klay go somewhere and, average 25 and be the man? Certainly, but he's not going to be going deep into the playoffs and having championship runs. Not to say that James Harden and them won't get there. They got to the Western Conference Finals last year, off to a slow start this year, but, they're starting to have signs now. They won their last two in a row. But, look, both are fantastic. If I had to pick one, who's the better of the shooting guards right now, and this would be microfractions, I would go with Klay just for the simple fact of what he does at the other end. One is an outstanding scorer in James Harden. One is a fabulous shooter in Klay Thompson. But to me, what separates them is defensively. Klay will get after you defensively. And to me, that's why he gets the edge in micro fractions, not by a lot.
What did you think of Byron Scott saying the Lakers were scared playing against Oklahoma City?
I think he's trying to motivate or get his young guys to understand that you've got to play hard every night. And especially on the road when you're going against, a Kevin Durant and a Russell Westbrook, those guys bring out a lot of fear in you, especially if you're a young player. And on their home court. But I think he's just trying to, ignite a little flame underneath these guys. I don't think they were scared. There wasn't fear in their eyes. When you lose by 40, you're just, hey, the better team. But I don't think they were scared. But I think he's just trying to ignite something in his younger guys.
But were you ever in fear of another team?
No, you're never in fear of whoever you play. I mean, you respect them. There's times when we knew we were going to probably get our heads beat in by certain teams, when the Pacers weren't that good. But you're never in fear. If you're in fear, you shouldn't be playing.
The other thing I'm curious about is Odell Beckham Jr. and Josh Norman going at it during the game. That it was a game within the game or a war within the war there.
Sure.
How much? We can blame. There's enough fingers to point in the direction to blame people here. But are we making more out of this, or not enough?
Well, again, you and I were not privy to what was being said between the lines, between both players and between both teams. Obviously, we've heard the rumors of the gay slurs and so forth. Again, I don't know and you don't know. We're only going by what's being reported. Mm-hmm. There's times where you can cross the line. If that did happen, it would be unfortunate, and I could see where Odell Beckham Jr. would react or overreact. But if that was said and he reacted that way, that's the worst way you can react, because now everyone knows that there's certain buttons that can be pushed where you're going to react. I think he deserved that one-game suspension because you can't react like that. But I'm disappointed in the officials, because if this was going on and this was being said and you heard all this, then you've got to step in.
Well, they got to throw. If I warn you, if you continue, you're gone.
Were they warned? Do we know that?
No, that's the problem. Because if they were warned, then they certainly gave you a reason to throw them after that.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the problem.
There's no place because I was tuning in to watch that particular matchup, and it turned into a boxing match. You know, everyone was talking about Norman versus, Beckham Jr., and that's what I wanted to see. And there was cheap shots and, blows thrown, and you want physical play, and you want that competitiveness, but you just don't want it to be cheap and dirty. And it started to turn cheap and dirty. And, as a viewer, you want hard play, you want aggressive play, but you just don't want it crossing the line. And in my opinion, it crossed the line a little bit.
What's your next game?
January 7th maybe Rondo will be on Kobe's list. Lakers versus Sacramento in Sacramento. What? Maybe he will be on the list.
Is DeMarcus Cousins going to still be on the team?
Yes.
Okay.
Why? Have you heard something else?
No, it just seems like every other week there's something about DeMarcus Cousins, and Boston wants him, or Chicago wants him, or Miami might swap him.
That will always happen up until the trade deadline. Look, you're talking about, if not the best center, certainly in a top 3 center in the league in DeMarcus Cousins. Does he have his issues sometimes with head coach George Karl? I'm sure, but talent-wise, I've said this from his rookie year. I wish I could have played with DeMarcus Cousins because, yeah, he's out of control at certain times, but this kid plays hard every possession, and I like that.
So you're not traveling for the holidays?
Happy holidays. I'll be home. Home for the holidays. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. What are you doing for New Year's? Actually, I'll fly to New Year's. Are you having a party?
I wasn't.
Oh, you should throw a party for us and the Danettes at that mega mansion you have. Come on.
I'd rather we flew out to Malibu.
You would like the Malibu party.
I would like the boo.
Oh, okay. I'll call my new BFF, Julia, try to get her up here, and we'll roll from there.
Okay, what was the best year in Malibu for you?
I would say my very first year, because I didn't know very many people, and it was new to me. It was new looking at the water.
Did you say nudity?
No, new to me.
Oh, I thought you said there was nudity. My bad. I thought you said there was
nudity. Was nice. No, just kidding. I'm only kidding. My first year in 2001, 2002.
And Pamela Anderson never ran down the beach like in slow motion. She never did that as a neighbor.
I cannot confirm nor deny that ever happening. But it was nice back in the day.
That's why you're a Hall of Famer.
Thank you, Daniel.
Happy everything, Reg, and thank you for everything you do for the program. We always appreciate you being on every week.
Happy holidays to everyone. Please be safe, and I will see or speak with you guys probably in the new year.
Thank you, bud.